Swahili was the best part of it.
Well, the Swahili.
Yeah.
That sort of came together because in Kenya, especially in Mombasa, in many of the bars there, you find these old, a lot of them German, ex-pilots who sort of hang out in the bars, and they're still wearing sort of most of their pilot gear, and they're always talking. I've been here for 17 years, and really must go. And they're sort of, you don't quite know why they're there. You've got a good idea why they went to Kenya in the first place, but they sort of live these strange lives, and they're flying around in these tiny little Cessnas and things, you know, over the bushland, doing all kinds of strange things. And they're very mysterious characters, permanently plastered, and always talking about when they're going to leave and go back to Germany. And this sort of, that was sort of how it sort of came about, wondering exactly what they are, what they're doing there, what is their profession, what exactly, and who do they fly around? Because they're not, they don't belong to any tourist agencies or anything.
You know when you just explained those two tracks to us now, after hearing them, and a little bit before, when you start recording them with the people you're recording with,
yes,
do you explain it to them? Or do you just say, right, well, this is how we're going to do it?
Well, this one was very interesting. What we did was took the basic idea of Susie Q, reversed it, and sort of played the idea of Susie Q backwards, and then Brian decided to put prepared piano on it, so he put sort of pairs of scissors and all kinds of metal things on the strings of the piano, and that's how you get that thing. That's all piano. All of that's piano, but sort of prepared. And then we took out the main band, so you just had the piano left. And so it's another case of starting out with one thing, putting something on top of it, and taking away the number you first thought of. And then when that happens, and you've got that, and you think, my God, that reminds me of such and such a thing, and then you sort of work around that kind of
so it's a build
area.
Kind of thing where you have an idea and you tell everybody this.
Only that particular track, you see. I mean, there are other tracks that I'll point out which were done in a completely different system. I think a lot of the stuff that we write, we've got maybe 5 or 6 different systems we use for writing material now. And we find more systems every time we do an album, which is very much, I'm very influenced by Brian on that particular aspect, which is the cybernetic use of music, which is the use of systems. Put one system with another and see what happens. So that still applies very much to what we're doing. Next one, or...
You were going on in the last interview with Nicky about perhaps using reactionary type song writing, which was you sit down with an idea and you do paragraph 1, paragraph 2.
Yes, yes.
Have you done that with this?
That came out with this one, yeah. But that actually, that was used on. Somebody mentioned Sweet Thing earlier on from Diamond Dogs. That was used on that as well. It goes back that far. Diamond Dogs was the first album that I really incorporated the William Burroughs cut-up technique, and I've been sort of moving in and out of that ever since. Sometimes not so much, and sometimes quite a lot. But Diamond Dogs was an awful lot of cut-up on that. But I felt terribly embarrassed by the process at the time. Because nobody else was doing it, and I didn't want to say how I was writing things like that, because I thought people can think I'm nuts, you know, some cutting up words, and I see, cut up a few words, very good, David. And sort of, you know, once was very reticent about sort of, but then it became terribly fashionable, so I thought I'd tell everybody.
Sometimes.
Well, that of course is blatantly romantic. Interesting thing about that one is the middle section. I was playing through some old tapes of mine on a sort of just a Revox thing, and one of them accidentally I played backwards, and I thought, God, that's beautiful. So I must do that, and so, without listening to what it was originally, we recorded that whole thing, note for note, as it was, backwards, and I did all the vocal harmonies with Tony Visconti, backwards. And you play it backwards, you'll find it's all the young dudes.